Number 15, the phantom vibration syndrome. You're sitting in a meeting, or maybe just chilling on the couch, and you feel it. A distinct buzz, a tiny rumble in your pocket signaling a text or a call. You instinctively reach for your phone, pull it out, and nothing. The screen is blank. Your phone has been silent the whole time. You just experienced the phantom vibration syndrome, a neurological glitch where your brain manufactures a sensation that isn't actually there. It's a bit like your brain, in its infinite boredom, has decided to play a prank on you. You've become so conditioned to the feeling of a vibrating phone that your brain, a hyper-efficient pattern recognizer, starts misinterpreting other sensory input, like the rub of fabric or a slight muscle twitch, as a vibration. In a sense, your brain is just bored. It's so accustomed to being in a state of high alert, constantly waiting for a notification, that it starts creating its own stimuli. It's a hilarious, slightly concerning peek into how our technology is literally rewiring our nervous systems. We've become Pavlov's dogs, and the bell is a phantom buzz in our pocket. Number 14, that feeling of falling as you drift off to sleep. You know the one. You're finally cozy, your mind is shutting down, and then without warning, you suddenly jerk awake. Your whole body spasms as if you just tripped on a cosmic banana peel, and you're left with a disorienting split-second feeling of falling. This is a hypnic jerk, and it's a glitch so common that almost everyone experiences it. Scientists still don't have a single definitive answer for why it happens, which is honestly a little comforting. Theories range from a simple muscle spasm to your brain mistaking your relaxed body for a free-fall situation. As your body relaxes and your breathing and heart rate slow down, your brain, the ever-vigilant security guard, might misinterpret this rapid shift as a sign that you're about to, fall off a cliff. So it fires off an emergency signal to your muscles to jolt you awake, saving you from a non-existent fall. It's a bit like your nervous system is a jumpy intern on its first day, overreacting to the slightest change. Thanks, brain, for saving me from that imaginary cliff edge. I really needed that 6-second heart attack. Number 13. The earworm epidemic. We've all been there. You wake up, and for no discernible reason, a pop song from 10 years ago has taken up residence in your brain. A relentless loop of a chorus you barely even like plays over and over, all day long. You try to think about something else, you try to hum a different tune, but nothing works. This is an earworm, and it's a baffling, involuntary musical hallucination that plagues up to 98% of people. Your brain has essentially become a broken jukebox, stuck on a single, terrible track. Scientists believe it's a quirk of memory and our brain's natural tendency to complete patterns. The brain, which is a big fan of closure, starts playing a song, but it never quite reaches the end, leaving a frustrating open loop. This drives a need for cognitive closure, so your brain keeps playing it, hoping it will finally finish. It's like a neurological version of that moment when you can't remember the name of an actor, and it gnaws at you until you finally look it up. The earworm is the musical equivalent, a little snippet of a song that you just can't shake. It's proof that sometimes your brain's worst enemy is its own need for perfection. Number 12. Why you can't remember why you walked into a room. You get up from your desk with a purpose, a mission, a singular thought in your head. You walk across the room, into the kitchen, and then, poof, the thought is gone. You stand there, a human question mark, staring blankly at the toaster, wondering what on earth you came in for. You then have to walk back to where you started, hoping to reset your brain and retrieve the lost thought. This is the doorway effect, a fascinating little cognitive glitch where passing through a doorway literally makes you forget things. Psychologists believe it has to do with how your brain organizes memories. Walking through a doorway acts as an event boundary, a sort of mental folder closer. Your brain, seeing this change in environment, decides it's the perfect time to archive the old room information and get ready for the new room data. Unfortunately, the task you were meant to perform was part of that old file, which has now been neatly tucked away. It's not a memory problem, it's a filing system problem. Your brain is just being a little too tidy, and in its quest for organization, it's accidentally deleted the most important file. Number 11. The I'm about to sneeze fizzle. You feel it building. That telltale tickle in your nose, the tightening in your face. The sneeze is coming, and it feels like a glorious, powerful explosion of relief. You prepare for it, you tense your muscles, you get ready for the big moment, and then nothing. The sensation vanishes without a trace, leaving you feeling frustrated and a little cheated. This is a scientific puzzle that still baffles researchers. It's like your body's version of a browser that just won't load. The sneeze reflex is a complex biological event involving a whole cascade of nerves and muscles, and for some reason, the signal gets interrupted mid-flow. It could be due to a sudden change in temperature or a subtle shift in the body's position that disrupts the neural pathway. Think of it as a sneeze train that gets derailed right before it reaches the station, leaving you stranded on the tracks with a uselessly prepared face. Your body has all the right parts for the job, but for some reason, the delivery system just fails at the last second, robbing you of that satisfying, explosive release. Number 10. The involuntary shiver from a specific sound. Ever been doing the dishes and a piece of silverware scrapes against a plate, sending a weird, involuntary shiver down your spine? Or maybe it's the sound of nails on a chalkboard, a squeaky styrofoam box, or someone chewing with their mouth open. Okay, that last one is less of a glitch and more of a genuine reason to be angry. This is a strange biological reaction to specific frequencies. Scientists have found that certain sounds, often in the 2,000–5,000 hertz range, trigger an ancient primal fear response in our brains. It's theorized that this is a leftover from our ancestors, a sort of built-in alarm system that responded to the high-pitched distress calls of primates. Your nervous system is basically hearing the sound of a chimpanzee getting attacked by a tiger, and it responds by sending a shiver down your spine, even though all that's happening is a fork meeting a plate. It's an absurdly outdated alarm system, a relic from the jungle that's still hardwired into your brain, and it's making you unreasonably uncomfortable during a perfectly normal dinner. Number 9. Waking up tired after a good night's sleep. You went to bed early, you didn't check your phone for hours, and you slept for a solid 8 hours. You wake up, and you feel terrible. You're groggy, your body feels heavy, and you're pretty sure you're more tired than you were before you went to bed. This is a genuine documented glitch known as sleep inertia. It's the physiological state of grogginess and disorientation that occurs immediately after waking up, even when you've had enough sleep. Your brain, which loves a good routine, isn't a fan of being woken up abruptly. It takes time for the various parts of your brain to switch from sleep mode to awake mode. During sleep, your cerebral blood flow and brain temperature decrease. When you wake up suddenly, your brain is still operating at a low power, like a computer that's just been turned on. It's not a sign that you didn't get enough sleep. It's a sign that your brain is just grumpy about being woken up. It's the ultimate, don't talk to me until I've had my coffee feeling, but it's literally hardwired into your biology. Your brain is essentially throwing a temper tantrum because you dared to interrupt its precious low-power state. Number 8. Déjà vu, the brain's glitch in the matrix. You're talking to a friend, or maybe you're in a new place for the first time, and you get a sudden, unsettling feeling. You've been here before. You've had this exact conversation. The words, the setting, the specific angle of the afternoon sun, it all feels so familiar, even though you know for a fact it's impossible. This is déjà vu, a French phrase that means already seen, and it's a glitch so common it's practically a rite of passage. Scientists believe it's a hiccup in your brain's memory retrieval system. Essentially, the sensory information from your current experience takes a split second longer to reach the part of your brain that processes memory. When it finally arrives, it feels like it's been there before, because the brain has already created the memory and is now retrieving it as if it were an old file. It's like a computer processor that's running just a fraction of a second behind, and when the data finally catches up, it gets flagged as a duplicate. Your brain isn't seeing into the future. It's just getting a little confused about the past. It's a fascinating, disorienting moment where your brain is both telling you a lie and making you believe it. Number 7. The word on the tip of your tongue phenomenon. We've all had this frustrating experience. You're trying to remember a name, a word, or a movie title, and you can almost feel it. It's right there, at the very edge of your consciousness, a ghost of a word just beyond your reach. You can often remember the first letter, how many syllables it has, or what it rhymes with, but the word itself refuses to materialize. This is the tip of the tongue TOT state, a common cognitive block that happens to everyone. It's a glitch in the retrieval process of your memory. The brain stores information in a vast, interconnected web, and a TOT state is when you've successfully accessed the conceptual part of the memory, but the phonological part, the actual sound and letters of the word, is temporarily disconnected. Think of your brain as a library. You've found the correct card in the card catalog, you know exactly what book you're looking for, but you've temporarily forgotten the aisle number. So you stand there, staring at the card, knowing the information is in the building, but you can't quite walk to the right shelf to retrieve it. It's a maddening, harmless bug in your mental filing system that proves even the most sophisticated supercomputers can have an off day. Number 6. Goosebumps from non-cold triggers. You're listening to a particularly moving piece of music. The violins swell, the lyrics hit you just right, and suddenly you feel it. A tiny wave of goosebumps rising on your arms and the back of your neck. It's not cold in the room. In fact, you might be perfectly comfortable. So why is your body reacting as if it's freezing? This is a glitch where a strong emotional response, typically to music, art, or a poignant moment, triggers a physical reaction intended for a completely different purpose. The technical term is piloerection, a vestigial reflex from our evolutionary past. Our distant hairy ancestors would puff up their hair to look bigger and scarier when threatened, a reaction controlled by the same part of the nervous system that handles our fight or flight response. Today, our hair is too sparse to make us look intimidating, but the same reflex is still hardwired into our brains. When a piece of music or a powerful story gives you a feeling of awe or emotional threat, in a good way, your brain can misfire, triggering the same ancient piloerection reflex. Your body is basically preparing for a confrontation with a predator, but instead of a tiger, it's a particularly epic guitar solo. Number 5. When your brain fills in a blank, you're reading a book or a text, and a word is misspelled, or maybe a letter is missing entirely. Yet your brain doesn't even register the mistake. It just reads the word correctly, as if the error never existed. This is a phenomenon where your brain, a true master of pattern recognition, predicts what you're about to see and fills in the blanks before you've even fully processed the information. Your brain isn't reading every single letter individually. It's recognizing the overall shape of the words and the context of the sentence. It's like your brain is a speed reader, but a lazy one. It sees the first and last letters of a word and just figures out the rest, which is why a sentence like, "I not believe I'm raiding Tiz," is still perfectly legible. This incredible and sometimes error-prone ability is a massive evolutionary advantage, allowing us to process information at lightning speed. It's an internal autocorrect that's working so fast you don't even notice when it's wrong, which is why you can sometimes read an entire paragraph that's full of typos and still get the gist of it. You've basically got a built-in psychic that's so good at its job, it occasionally makes stuff up. Number 4. The "why did I write this?" mental blackout. You open your calendar to check an appointment, and you see a note you wrote to yourself a few days ago. Get the thing. You stare at the words, utterly baffled. What thing? The note itself is a complete mystery, a puzzle with no solution. You have a vague, unsettling memory of writing it, but the context is completely gone. This is a common glitch that shows the fascinating yet fragile nature of memory. When we write things down, our brains often offload the information, assuming that the external cue will be enough to trigger the full memory later. The problem is that our brains are often too good at offloading, and they're also terrible at anticipating future self's confusion. Your brain, in its infinite optimism, thought that the thing was all the information you'd ever need. It's a classic case of your past self sabotaging your present self, because past you was overconfident and didn't realize that present you would have the memory of a goldfish. It's a universal phenomenon that proves we are all our own worst enemy, leaving little breadcrumbs of notes for ourselves that are completely incomprehensible just 48 hours later. Number 3, pareidolia, or seeing faces everywhere. You're looking at a slice of toast and you see a sad face. You're staring at the outlet on the wall and you swear it's a tiny, shocked robot. This phenomenon of seeing faces and patterns in inanimate objects is called pareidolia, and it's a completely normal and kind of adorable glitch in human perception. Your brain, in its endless quest to make sense of the world, is hardwired to recognize faces. It's an ancient evolutionary trait. Being able to spot a face in the tall grass meant the difference between life and death. The problem is, our brains are so good at this job that they often get over-enthusiastic. The brain sees 2 dots and a line and instantly thinks, a face! Even if those 2 dots are just the headlights on a car and the line is a grill. It's a cognitive shortcut that's working overtime, making you think your coffee machine is winking at you. In a way, it's a nice reminder of our past. You're not crazy. You're just a highly evolved primate, desperately searching for another primate's face in a world full of boring, inanimate objects. Number 2, explaining a joke you don't get but everyone else does. You're in a group conversation and someone tells a joke. The punchline lands and everyone erupts into laughter. Except you. You didn't get it, not even a little. But instead of asking for an explanation and risking social awkwardness, you do something far stranger. You nod your head knowingly and say, "Oh, I see," or "That's a good one," and laugh along with everyone else. You've just performed an act of social mimicry, a common human glitch where we prioritize fitting in over genuine understanding. Your brain is essentially running a quick, silent calculation. Is the risk of looking dumb greater than the comfort of blending in? The answer is almost always to blend in. This isn't just about politeness, it's a deep-seated evolutionary instinct. For our ancestors, being part of the group was crucial for survival, and getting the joke, or pretending to, was a simple way to reaffirm your status. Your brain, in its infinite wisdom, has decided that pretending to understand is the path of least resistance, even if it means you're just a sheep in a flock of laughter, blindly following the crowd. It's a hilarious and sad testament to the power of social pressure, and it's proof that sometimes the best way to deal with a joke you don't get is to pretend you're a genius. Number 1, your body suddenly forgetting how to swallow. You're taking a sip of water or chewing on a piece of food, and for a split second, your body just forgets. It's a moment of sheer panic, where you can feel the liquid or food in your mouth, but the automatic, unconscious process of swallowing simply won't initiate. Your throat feels like a locked door, and you have to consciously, manually, force the muscles to work. This is a terrifying and baffling glitch that has no official scientific name, but it's a universal experience of brief physiological amnesia. The reflex to swallow is controlled by a complex sequence of nerves and muscles, and for a fleeting moment, the signal from your brain to those muscles just gets scrambled. It's like a computer program that has a tiny momentary hiccup, freezing the entire system. It's not a choking event. It's a temporary loss of a basic, life-sustaining function. And in that one horrifying second, you become acutely aware of just how much of your life is run on autopilot, and how easily that autopilot can fail. You're left with a newfound appreciation for the simple act of swallowing, and a deep, unsettling fear of your own body's ability to just stop working.